You're looking live at PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to carry. It's Wednesday. It's hump day, folks. Got a lot to talk about. Got a good program lined up. We're going to have JC here in just a second. We have Kevin Brockway, who will probably join us from the airport. He'll be heading out to Omaha, give us his thoughts. We'll have him break down the Virginia Cavaliers, see if he's done any research for us. If you missed it last night, and I'm shocked, I am literally shocked that JC doesn't have a Vegas Golden Knights sweater on today, since they are your world champions. Good morning,
Yeah,
JC. Did you
man.
already order? Did you order your people that don't follow hockey may think they're called hockey jerseys. It's
The sweaters.
technically a sweater.
Sweaters,
Okay,
yes. No,
so
I haven't.
there.
No, I haven't really jumped on board with this team yet. I love the idea that they have a team in Vegas. I love the arena they play in. It's a fantastic atmosphere. They've been in the league for 6 years, and to the dismay of many fans of hockey clubs who are perennial failures at what they do, people in Vegas should cheer because of the way that obviously how these new teams that come into the league are able to draft and build their teams faster. In this case, you had 6 players from the original team 6 years ago who are still on the team, but most of the players on this roster were picked up or acquired because Vegas did not make the playoffs last year. So let's not make any assumptions that this has just been made for them to win a Stanley Cup. They were abject failures last year, not even making the playoffs. And this year they just steamrolled through the playoffs with some great acquisitions and management that knows what it's doing, unlike many other franchises who have a management teams or who have management teams that simply don't know what they're doing. So good for Vegas. They're the champs and they deserved it. The Florida Panthers, had a great run, but the problem with the Panthers, they just flat out ran out of gas. And I think 10 days off took them out of their rhythm. And without Matthew Tkachuk playing last night, it was over.
Yep. And John says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, NHL is over, NBA is over. All eyes on the U.S. Open now. We can
Yes,
focus on golf. Well, I
U.S.
think he's being sarcastic. Some of these guys hate it when we talk golf. We're going to do our golf
What?
picks. We're going to talk U.S. Open. I cannot wait for this U.S. Open. There's a lot of
Yeah.
unique holes on this golf course.
Right.
We're going to talk about it later, so we can't talk about it right now.
Okay,
Um,
but I
I,
mean, good God, who wouldn't want to talk about the U.S. Open? My dad used to think that was the best of the 4 majors. He loved it. He thought it was the best because it was an Open. It was a true, major. It's the national championship, just like the Canadian Open was last week's Canadian national championship. The British Open or the Open is their national championship. This is the national championship, is the way I look at it. That's how my
yep.
dad used to look at it.
Andy says, Shane, did you hear that the Jags are looking to playing in the track infield at the Daytona National Speedway, which
But
for
just,
2 years,
just
because it's going to, first of all, it's going to, I don't know why it takes 2 years to redo a stadium. They can work through the night. I saw where, and I saw this on Twitter, this course that they're playing, there's a road that like goes between like the east and the west or what have you. The PGA Tour, well, no, no, not the PGA
right.
Tour,
I thought you were talking about
USGA,
Vegas.
the USGA built a road and overpass
Yeah.
over this road for the U.S. Open in like a week. So I don't know why it takes. First of all, I think it's silly that they even think about playing in Daytona.
It's
Just
just
go to Orlando. It's everything is already set up. But obviously, Camping World doesn't want to cut a deal with them. I
have you
guess
ever
I
been
don't
out?
know.
Obviously, you haven't spent much time outside of Camping World Stadium, but it's an abject. Uh,
Well, have you
it's
ever
a
been to the
ghetto. It's
Daytona
a
International
ghetto.
Field? Have
But
you ever been to the
no, dude,
Daytona?
there's no way you can put a football team in the middle of an infield of a 2.5 mile trioval with some seats over here and a mile and a half over there. There's some seats. That's just it's silliness. Look, I don't know how realistic Florida field is. I don't know if you could have the Gators play on Saturday and then the NFL team
No,
comes
that
out.
that that, that
I,
ain't gonna work. That ain't
that's
gonna work.
probably not going to work either. So yeah, I get it with Orlando, but my God, that place just a dump outside of it, and they don't care down there. And you hear all these journalists down there in Orlando begging for why aren't there more teams in Orlando? If it's not obvious why, then you don't really know what your area there that well. But listen, I don't know what the Jazz are going to do, but why is it that every time you build a stadium, it's got to be right where the old stadium is in Jacksonville. And I guess that's all about land because, many places in Los Angeles, for example, the Rams played in Los Angeles because they had the ability to while they built a stadium somewhere else. Do they have to build this stadium where the current stadium is in Jacksonville? And I guess the answer is yes, they have to because that's the only.
It's a great location because it's on the river. It's cool. I mean, maybe you just say the hell with it. We're going to build the new stadium in the parking lot.
Yeah.
To the west side, and then I don't know. I just don't know why it takes so long.
Well,
they're not building an entire new stadium. They're renovating it. Why it takes 2 years to do that blows my mind. Maybe I'll ask my son. He's in construction management.
Okay. Well, I know there's a lot more to it than that. I mean, they want to make that area, or I've been hearing this for decades, how that area is going to the river walk, and they're going to create such a magical place for fans and people to congregate in that area. And I've been hearing this for 20
years. And you're a season ticket holder, so you can enjoy it. All right. Moving on. College baseball, the field is set out there, and we'll talk more with Kevin Brockway about the Gators. But JC, did you realize that there have never been more home runs in Division I college baseball than what have been hit this year?
I did see that.
Over 19,000 home runs have been hit just in Division I baseball. I'm telling you, the ball's juiced.
Maybe it is, but I think it makes it more fun too. QB, I tell you, they did a lot of good things for college baseball, making it faster. The game pace is better now. Balls flying out of ballparks, better ballparks for teams to play in. And look at this field we have. We have a team from Oklahoma. We have a team from Texas. We have a team from North Carolina. We have a team from California, Virginia, Florida, Louisiana, and Tennessee. That's awesome. You've got the whole place. I mean, I think when you look at these final 8, I don't think there's a definitive favorite. I think that's how well the field is mapped out. And I do agree that our side of it with Florida is maybe easier than their side. That doesn't mean anything when you get out there and play, because a lot of times the team you don't think is going to win this thing ends up winning it. Coastal Carolina, teams like that. So I don't know who's going to win it, but I think it's going to be tremendous. And I think we've got a lot of great matchups, and these teams are very, very even. Do you see an overwhelming favorite in the field, QB?
Well, the three best teams are Florida, LSU, and Wake Forest. Everybody else is just kind of there. But it's baseball. You get hot, you can win some games. Tom wants to know on Facebook Live, what part of Alabama were you in when you got pulled over for speeding? Well, Tom, it was between Montgomery and Tuscaloosa. That damn one road. I don't know. There were no speed limit signs. There were nothing on that road.
Highway 80.
All right, JC, I got a question for you. Are you familiar with the John Olerud Award?
I've heard about it. Yes.
Okay, so the John Olerud College Award is for the best two-way player of the year. Okay. I'm gonna give you 2 candidates right here. Listen to the stats. Batting average. One was 307, the other was 336. Okay. One hit 18 home runs. The guy that batted 307. The guy that batted 336 hit 31 home runs. The guy that batted 307 with 18 home runs had 68 RBIs. The other dude had 84 RBIs. The guy with the 307 average pitching record was 8-1 with a 3.35 ERA. The guy that batted 336, 31 homers, and 84 ribbies was 7-3 with a 3.78 ERA.
Same thing.
So who would you give that award to?
Why did they give it to the 307 guy?
I have no idea. So Caden Grice from Clemson won it. And I think it is a ridiculous
that's a travesty.
That he won that over Jack Calgon.
Well, there's 2 reasons. That's a travesty. The stats you just said clearly tell you who the best one is. And the other guy played in the ACC. And this guy who won it played in the SEC, or should have won it, played in the SEC. Look, we all know that Jeffrey Allen Cadville is the best player in baseball on both sides. He's the best. And everybody knows that. And if you try to say that he isn't the John Olerud Award winner because of this other guy, you are simply ignoring facts. And you're ignoring realities. And you are like some sort of weirdo that doesn't really pay attention, just wants to throw something out there, hopes it sticks. But I don't care. I'll call him the John Olerud Award winner if I want to, because that's the numbers you just said. Basically,
yeah, I don't know how you win SEC Player of the Year either. Silverback Concrete is a family-led team of heavy concrete specialists that build commercial structures with unrivaled quality. Speaking with JC on the Titan More Hotline, we'll be joined by Kevin Brockway from the Gainesville Sun as he travels out to Omaha. JC, you know what happens tonight? Not a whole lot of sport, baseball if you want to watch that, but on 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the SEC Network, the 2024 football opponents will be revealed.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because today is the 14th. You're right, and I've been waiting for this, and we get to see the schedules because of all the nonsense that was talked about with the 8-game, the 9-game schedule. They couldn't come to an agreement, so they decided to do 8 games for the next 2 years. I guess they did come to an agreement with 8 games for the next 2 years, even though they should have gone to 9 for 24. They've gone with 8 now for this season and next. I can't wait to see what. I think we already know a couple things, QB. We know Georgia's going to be Florida's one. It's a 1-7 thing where you have 7 teams that'll rotate over the 2 years and one team that you'll play both in both years. Georgia will be on Florida's schedule. Florida will be on Georgia's. Auburn will be on Alabama's. Alabama will be on Auburn's. So what is Texas and Texas A&M? Are they going to be there? Is Oklahoma going to be Texas's one team? And I think it's going to be Oklahoma and Texas. So those are three scenarios we know it's going to happen, and everybody else is thrown up in the bubble machine. Who knows where they're going to land? But I think Florida's going to end up with LSU. They're going to end up with Tennessee, and we'll see who else, along with Georgia.
I screenshot this because I saw it last night. ESPN's FPI's preseason top 25. I don't know what FPI stands for. Do you?
No.
Okay. Well, football power index. Okay. They have Oklahoma 1, Alabama 2, Georgia 3, LSU 4, Texas 5. And I'm not going to go through everything. They have the mighty Gators in at 18.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, I saw the beat writers on some website for Florida. Gosh, I wish I had just saved it. I could be more specific.
I saw it. It was the only person that Zach Alberti had him
Zach
going 8-4.
Had 8-4. 8-4.
Some dude had him going 5-7. They will not go 5-7.
Yeah, and then one guy had 7-6, and then the other guy had 6-7. So Zach was the one of the 4 that said 8 wins. You're the second guy.
Tony says if they, meaning the SEC, screw. Oh man, it went away. Hang on a second. He says, if they screw us out of going to Auburn in 2024, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, I mean,
it just makes it's. I mean,
and if Georgia doesn't go to freaking Texas A&M, I'm going to be pissed because, I mean, my God, what the hell is wrong with these people? That and again, Georgia was going to Texas A&M during COVID, but we changed everything for COVID, but they still played 10 SEC games. You still could have made it happen. They just chose not to. And it makes me mad if Georgia gets the benefit of all this scheduling, it seems. So, listen, they're going to come out tonight. I'm actually very eager to see that. That's going to be on the SEC Network.
Yeah, 7 o'clock. Joe has a question. JC, you may know this because I'm sure you may have been interviewing Coach Holloway back in your Mustache TV 20 days.
He's amazing.
Joe wants to know what's the story behind Coach Holloway's nickname, Mouse. I don't know that. That's a great question. I would guess he's so quiet. It's like he's quiet as a mouse. And somebody called him Mouse. I don't know.
I just call him Winner. And,
did you never did a story on him?
Oh yeah, no, we did. We did stories with Mike. Yes, we absolutely did. We basically centered the attention on his teams when they had the Florida relays here. And, that was the home. That was the one home. It's like the golf team. The one time you had a chance here in Gainesville to go see the track guys that wore orange and blue.
Okay, so Andy, who's like our crack research staff, he says he got his nickname when he was in high school. He was quiet. He was a quiet guy who scooted around the track. Okay. There you go. So, another thing I wanted to bring up today.
Oh, I wanted to mention. Let me mention one more thing. Ben Shelton, great player, tennis player. We all know about his dad, Brian. Truly successful coach here at Florida. Could have been one of the greats, all-time greats. Won a championship, but now he's leaving. We know this, that he's leaving to go tutor and mentor his son and coach his son. And the question I asked Brian as he drove his golf cart down this golf path right here was, hey Brian, what's old Ben gonna pay you for this coaching gig? He's ripping you away from the University of Florida. What are you gonna get? He's worth $30 million. And Brian looked at me and said, not enough, dude.
Not enough. I'm sure he's getting a pay raise over what he was making.
Oh yeah. I would think so. But it was funny. I don't know.
So I wanted to bring this up with our viewers and our listeners. JC, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's been all over Twitter, and it really irritates the hell out of me. This crazy ass dad who's calling his son Baby Gronk is doing these silly podcasts and interviews, and I mean, this kid's not even in middle school yet, and it's just he's ruining this kid. We saw it. I saw it growing up. You know, when I was growing up, I was about the same age as the guy, Todd Marinovich. Remember him? Remember how crazy his dad was?
Absolutely.
The guy had to train 24 hours a day, could not eat a damn Snicker, couldn't drink a Gatorade, couldn't drink a Coke.
Yeah.
Well, this dumbass dad, you got to see these damn interviews that he's doing with his son, with these other idiots that are giving them the time of day to be on here. And they ask the kid questions, and the kid answers it, and the dad says, no, ask that question again. Son, you need to answer it like this. I feel horrible for the kid. But they call him Baby Gronk, and the damn kid probably will never make it past high school.
He's living vicariously through his kid. That guy needs medical attention. Leave the kid alone. Let him grow up. Let's see him grow into what he's going to be, and quit pretending you are him. And that's
exactly. It's ridiculous. So, all right, let's move on to what's big this weekend. The U.S. Open out at the LA Country Club. If you haven't seen it, folks, I know we talk golf, and whether you like golf or not, check this golf course out. Dude, they got some fairways, JC, that they showed some people from the Golf Channel just go drop a ball in the middle of the fairway, and it just goes, it's just sloped straight down to the rough. So there's supposedly a 290-yard par 3, which is crazy. And then I saw an article, or not an article, but I saw Ricky Fowler talking about an 80-yard par 3 they have. And he says if they put if it's a front pin placement on this 80-yard par 3, he is going to lay up.
Wow.
I mean, think about that. So anyway, our Peachland Dental golf picks. Gator Nation's number one choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte surrounding areas. Visit them at peachlanddental.com. All right.
This course, QB, we've got 5 par 3s, and you start off on one with a fairly easy par 5, and then number 2 is a very difficult par 4. And the way this course was designed by a guy named George back in the 20s was really unique. And they have this thing called a Baranaca or something. Anyway, it's land that weaves through the property and through the golf course. It's like some sort of desert condition, and you hit it in there, you're in big trouble. And it goes through most of the back nine, which they say the last 3 holes is over 1,559 yards. The last 3 holes is over 1,559 combined yards. So it's going to be a tough finish for whoever does end up the winner here. And this Baranaca, whatever, I see this on the Golf Channel. I've been watching the Golf Channel for the last 3 nights, and they've told you all about the course and the Los Angeles Country Club and how it originated. There's so many great ones there in LA, and Riviera, Bel Air, and now this one. And the North Course, wait, folks, you're going to love watching this. I mean, these golfers, and Brooks Koepka said in his interview yesterday, they were interviewing him, and he said, I tend to thrive in golf tournaments where scores tend to be much lower because I'm able to outlast the field. In other words, he can get through it much easier than somebody who's just scrambling all the time. And that's what I'm going to love watching about this tournament, is how these golfers navigate this and what kind of patience they show trying to win and stay alive for Sunday. And QB, this course is really unique, and I think that's going to make it for some real fun golf watching.
Yeah, it really is, and I can't wait. It all kicks off tomorrow, and the great thing about it is, being out on the West Coast, you can do your stuff during the day and get to watch golf at night. All right, JC, so I'm going to let you have the first pick because that's just how I am. I'm a nice host.
Well, you are just a spectacular host. I'm trying to get an edge on who's going to be able to navigate this type of course the best of the out of the field. And there's a lot of great names here. But I'm going to go with a guy who probably we never pick and often overlook, but who has really played well. And I'm going to take Adam Scott.
Oh, you're taking an Australian.
Well, I just love the way he's playing right now. I like Adam Scott. And we're going to take 4 guys or just 3?
Yeah, we're going to take 4. So
okay.
I'm going to go back to my old days before the live.
Sure.
And I'm going to take my man Brooks Koepka.
Yeah, and that was going to be my next pick. His game in these types of situations is spectacular. And he said yesterday that he doesn't think it's unrealistic that he can't get to 10 majors, that double digits on the major roll. He's got 5 now. He's got 3 PGAs and 2 US Opens. So this fits his game, man. Fits his game. All right, that's a great pick. I'm going to take a guy who loves playing in California. That's Colin Morikawa.
Ooh, Morikawa, the Cow Bear. Everybody's on here saying JC's going to take John Rahm.
It's coming.
You know who I'm going to take? You know who I'm going to take?
Yeah.
I'm going to take another California kid. I'm going to take Patrick Cantlay.
Oh, interesting.
He can putt his ball.
Yeah, and I mean this is going to be a real test of putting skill for sure. And so
more people. JC, John Rahm is still on the board.
Okay, all right. I'm going to end the speculation. Give me the defending U.S. Open champion, John Rahm. Fantastic player. Great player.
All right. And I'm going to take – great story, by the way. I screenshot this one, too. I love great stories. How do you not take
Max Homa? I mean, aren't you all over Max?
I love Max Homa. So I'm going back to my pre-live days, and I'm taking the best short game putter there is. If he hits his driver in play, it's over. I'm on the redneck from Australia, Cam Smith.
Cam Smith is
real quick. Cam Smith, I love Cam Smith. He flew 2 Aussie junior golfers to his house over in Ponte Vedra last week for an entire week to give them a short game lesson and working out and all this stuff. And then he flew them out on his net jet with him to the U.S. Open all week.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
How can you not love that? I love Scotty Scheffler. I just think his short game is the best right now going. It used to be Jordan Spieth. He doesn't putt like he used to. I'm taking Scotty. Right. Listen, man, you're asking me who's going to win, so we have to make picks. And I know it's not going out on a limb, taking the world's number 1, but he's the world's number 1 for a reason, QB. And I think a lot of it has to do with the short game.
He's pretty damn good. So we're actually going to take 5 because our listeners.
Okay. Did you write down Scotty for me?
I did. Right. So you have Adam Scott, Morikawa, John Rahm, Scotty Scheffler.
I'm winning.
I'm going to take another California kid.
Okay. Xander.
X-Man.
X-Man. Gee, what's a shocker there? Okay. Now, I don't know, QB.
Your last pick, make it a good one.
Well, Victor Hovland.
Oh, okay.
You know what he did at Memorial with that rough and the way he drove his ball, and he's a birdie machine, dude. He's a birdie machine. He's also a bogey machine. But I'll take
my last pick. I'm going with probably the most liked guy on tour.
Mm-hmm.
Who's from California?
Okay.
Who's played this golf course a bunch?
Give me one more hint.
He has a beard.
Max Homa.
The Homa.
That's
Max Homa.
Pick. A very good pick. California.
I love Max Homa. If you're a golf fan and you enjoy golf, you got to follow Max Homa on Twitter. Yes. He's hilarious. He is so damn funny.
He has a beard. I mean, yeah, and I think we covered it. I mean, but don't be shocked if somebody like, Martin Keimer comes out of nowhere. It's just the
Terrell Hatton. Look out for Terrell Hatton.
Terrell Hatton playing great.
Or Sunjay M.
And what about your guy Fitzpatrick? I mean,
wait a minute. He won it last year, right?
Wait a minute. He's the defending champion, not Rahm. Rahm won it in 21. So it's Fitzpatrick who's your defending champion.
I like Fitzpatrick.
I stand corrected. Huh? What?
But I look out for Sunjay M.
Oh, well, I mean,
did you notice I didn't take one Korean?
Yeah, I did notice that. And I don't blame you. It's hard. listen, I made a mistake. Matthew Fitzpatrick is the defending champion, not John Rahm.
Yeah.
Rahm won it in 21, I think.
I agree.
So,
I think you're right.
So that's okay. So anyway, I'm glad that nobody caught that until I just caught it. But yeah,
all these guys are giving me crap about not taking any Koreans.
Yeah.
And Tony says, just thinking that, I mean, LA is close to Korea.
Much closer than
short trip for those boys.
Yeah, short trip. The Pacific Ocean is just a hop, just across. No big deal.
And Joseph says JC takes 2 of the top 3 golfers in the world every week.
Not every week.
He's a front runner. That's why he'll be loved. That's why Friday he will have his Vegas Golden Knights hat on probably.
Oh no, I've got a surprise for everybody on Friday. They are going to love the hat. They'll love. In fact, I'll probably start a movement with what I wear on Friday with people ordering these hats. And I think I just gave it away, but it's gonna be fabulous. I can't wait. It should come tomorrow. Just in time for the College World Series. I just gave it away. But anyway,
you probably have an old Gator baseball hat that has the interlocking UF, which I hate.
I love that. That's the logo, bro. That's the logo.
I hate it. I
don't know how you can hate that.
It just doesn't look right. It doesn't look right to me.
Why do you like
our interlocking logo? Does not look proportionate.
It's an F.
It's kind of equivalent to the con drawn on the back of the wall.
Such a stickler for these things. Well, you don't ever make fun.
Or no. Are you gonna, JC? You better not be wearing a Demon Deacon hat on this show.
Oh, come on! I can't. Well, listen. I do have an Oral Roberts hat. I have a TCU hat. I have a Demon Deacons hat. But I can't wear any of anybody's hats other than Florida's for the College World Series unless the Gators are eliminated. And so, I mean, no, hell no. I'm rooting for the Florida Gators.
What about an Oakland A's hat? Greg asked here.
That's coming too, because I'm getting on board with the fans because the fans get screwed by this greedy owner that wants to take them to Vegas and has done nothing for the Oakland fan base. It wasn't that long ago, 3-4 years ago, they were in a wild card game and they had 55,000 fans in that dumpy ass Coliseum. Clearly that should be condemned. And yet they had 55,000 fans at that Coliseum, set a wild card game, Major League Baseball record for fandom in a wild card game. This owner hates Oakland. That's just all there is to it. He hates the fans. And that's too bad. It's a historic franchise. Charlie Finley brought to Oakland. Remember, they played in Philadelphia, then they played in Kansas City, and now they're in Oakland. And Charlie Finley won 3 straight World Series championships. That would have been your Sal Bando. That would have been your Reggie Jackson and Raleigh Fingers.
Was Vida Blue pitching for them?
Vida Blue, Catfish Hunter. I could go on and on. Ray Fosse, Bert Campaneris. I mean, they had some greats in Oakland, and they have history in that with that franchise. But the ownerships, they hate the city. They want to move it to Vegas, and we'll see.
All right, JC, before we get you out of here, I want you to hear This Day in Sports, brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life with Campus USA Credit Union. In 1989, Major League Baseball pitcher for the Texas Rangers, Nolan Ryan, becomes the second pitcher to defeat all 26 teams.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder who the first. I'm sure other people have done that by now, but who do you think the other one was? Bob Gibson?
I'd have to take a minute to actually think about that one, QB. It has to be a pitcher with longevity and a guy that didn't experience a lot of injuries.
How many major league teams are there now? 30?
30, I believe. Yeah. 30, 32, 30. Something like that. Yeah. Huh. I just love seeing 28,000 fans at Oakland. They beat the Tampa Bay Rays second straight night. They've won 7 in a row, and their record is 19-50. They were 12-50, QB. That's minor league baseball material. But the ownership has not invested in the team, sold off all the players, didn't invest in the stadium. They hate the fans there, and the fans are going to lose another team in Oakland. They're gone.
All right. Well, we're going to talk to Gainesville Sun's Kevin Brockway.
I love Kevin.
Get his scouting report on the Cavaliers for Friday
night. And listen, this is, I think, up on our side, Florida has the tougher game. There's no doubt. Virginia is
they're a good ball club. I'm
They're
going to
good.
ask Kevin. Should I ask Kevin if he's going to partake in the bar with the Jello shots?
Yeah, I mean, we saw the record. You've got to see, folks. Got to watch
LSU will win that in a landslide.
first LSU. Oh, LSU for absolutely no question. But these Ole Miss Rebel fans shattered the Mississippi State Bulldog fans the year before. I mean, shattered the record for Jello shots and basically ran the city of Omaha out of gelatin. And it's incredible how many fans showed up last year. If you just remember, Ole Miss had 3/4 to almost the entire stadium of fans. Oklahoma had no chance, and the Ole Miss fan base is awesome. LSU's is the same way. It's the exact same thing, and that series on ESPN, you guys got to pull it up on YouTube or wherever you can pull it up. It's called Last In, Last Out, and it's about them winning the World Series coming from absolutely nowhere. And just put away the fact that they play for Ole Miss. Just think about the players, the coach, and what they did to get to that championship. It was a great story. The fans destroyed Omaha. They loved it there. So LSU will do the same thing if they get far. That's 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
All right, JC. We'll talk to you on Friday. That's JC joining us on the Titan MR hotline. We're going to take a quick timeout, come back, be joined by Gainesville Sun's Kevin Brockway. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Be right back. We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official injury and accident law attorneys of the Florida Gators. Peaceland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Campus USA Credit Union. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Dave & Buster's, eat, drink, play, and watch. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co., Ruse Ogre State Farm Insurance, Doreen Wibby, Realtor Caldwell Banker, MM Parish. Our touchdown sponsors are Adams Ribs, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteak, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Aver and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Pro football legend Emmitt Smith understands your joint pain.
It does not surprise me that there are a ton of people out there that's in pain.
That's why Emmitt is such a proponent of QC Kinetics, offering real lasting joint pain relief with non-surgical, all-natural biologic treatments.
Whether it's a joint pain, ankle pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, hip pain, any kind of pain, the body eventually will break down when it's under that much stress.
That stress can cloud your judgment to the point that you'll just say yes to the scalpel or yes to another prescription of pain pills. But maybe it's time for a second opinion from QC Kinetics.
The reason why I would recommend this is because the natural biologics that QC Kinetics is providing you gives your body a chance to naturally heal itself.
Restorative, regenerative solutions are here. Get lasting relief and live your life.
Call QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Celebration Point. It's where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Regal Cinemas, Prime and Pearl, Dave & Buster's, Nike, Skechers, F45, and the HBC's restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, the #1 celebrity polished casual restaurant in America, the hottest restaurant in Florida, in the heart of Gator Nation. It's Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We're going to go to the Titan MR hotline now. We're joined by Gainesville Sun's Kevin Brockway, who wanted me to keep JC on so he could talk some smack, even though the Yankees defeated his Metropolitans last night. Good morning, Kevin. How you doing, my man?
There's no smack to be had. Trust me, the Mets are god awful this year. It's a sinking ship, shall we say?
Well, Tony asked here on Facebook Live, could the Virginia Cavaliers beat the New York Mets?
I don't know, but they certainly hit better, right? I think the their average is 338, which leads NCAA. So they're definitely a contact team. They're definitely a team that can move base runners for sure.
Yeah, I wanted to bring you on. You're traveling out to Omaha today. You could be out there quite a while. Let's hope so. But Kevin, I wanted to get your thoughts. You've been covering this baseball team. They're facing Virginia. Virginia won a national championship. I think it was 2015, somewhere along there. As you just stated, they have the highest team batting average in America. What else do Gator fans need to know about the Cavalier ball club?
Well, they've got pretty good pitching too. Engelhardt is pretty good. I mean, they're a team that can throw the ball pretty well. And like I said, a team that contacts station to station. O'Connor is a very good coach. He's a guy that's been around for a while. And I was out there in 2015. I remember, Florida was a Final Three team out there, Shane, and lost to Virginia. Virginia went on to win the national championship that year. So their experience, they've been there before, like Florida. They know what to expect. I think the interesting aspect to all this is the bigger ballpark out there in Omaha. The fact that it's 335 down the line, 375 in the gaps, and 408 in center, and the wind does often blow in there. So this is going to be, for Florida to be successful, they're going to have to kind of do what they did in the second game of South Carolina, move some guys station to station. Occasionally you get a game where the wind blows out there, and when it does, then you can have some power games. But it's very fickle out there, and it's definitely a ballpark, an environment where you have to kind of find multiple ways to win.
That's true, but in college baseball, they've hit more home runs this year than ever before, over 19,000. You think the ball's juiced, bats are juiced? What's going on?
Yeah, it's interesting, Shane. I just think the athletes are better too. I think bigger, stronger. Recognizing pitches better. Maybe the pitch clock has had an effect too, like it's had in Major League Baseball too. I think that could be something that has gone into it, that pitchers have to work a little quicker, and maybe are a little more gassed. But it's an interesting, we went through this, 20, 25 years ago, and, Marshall McDougall hit 6 home runs in the game, and they kind of, dumbed down the aluminum bats a little bit, right? They made it, and we're in a situation now where the long ball is back. But I think at the same time, it is a big ballpark. It plays big, and I would expect it to continue to play big out there.
Speaking of the long ball, were you surprised? First of all, I just talked to JC about it. I was shocked that Jack Caglione was not the SEC Player of the Year. Then I was really shocked he wasn't the John Olerud two-way Player of the Year. Were you surprised at all? I mean, I gave JC the stats because he wasn't aware of the kid from Clemson. It's not even close.
Well, I think the kid from Clemson had better pitching numbers.
Yeah, he went 8-1. He went 8-1, where Cags went 7-3. Okay, big deal. And one had like a 3-point something ERA, the other one had 3.35. But at the plate, it wasn't close. I'm shocked.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I also thought that, it's interesting. Kevin O'Sullivan last week brought up the golden spike, and, Wyatt Langford as well, being a little bit of a snub, and Caglione was on there. But, Skeens has had a great year for LSU. Dylan Cruz is another guy who's arguably the number 1 overall pick, and has had a great year for LSU also. But you have 2 LSU guys, a Florida guy. But poor Wyatt Langford gets squeezed out again for that award.
Kevin, I want to ask you this. You've been covering the Gators a long time. I know you went up to Big Ten country for a little bit, but you still followed them. Kevin O'Sullivan has had some really good teams since he's taken over here. And I've spoken with pretty much all my guests ever since they're advanced this past weekend on the show this week. I feel like personally, this is his best overall team he's ever had. We got 2 really good pitchers, and I think Cags is a good third. But the lineup, to me, is what makes this team the best he's had. Now, hopefully they continue swinging the bats well out in Omaha. What are your thoughts? Could this be his best team?
I agree. It's his best lineup that he's had. And I questioned the pitching a little bit throughout the season, because I thought that Sprode and Waldrop and Caglione were having issues throwing strikes. But they seem to be dialed in, and they see at the right time. And that's what's really carried them in the postseason, Shane. I mean, you look at the postseason ERAs, 1.63 in the regionals, 2 in the super regionals. I mean, Hurston Waldrop has definitely found something his last 2 starts. He's really locating that split change a lot better. So some of the bullpen guys, Kate Fisher, has really stepped up in a big way in the postseason. You know, he gives you a spot start. He gives you 1 run in 7 innings, and then, throws 2 shutout innings out of the bullpen in that game against South Carolina, which is a really tight first game. Brandon Neely at the back end, 3 for 3 in save ops. So he's been very good. So I like where they are right now because I think they can win. You know, the best teams in any sport can win win in a multitude of ways. And I think this is a team where if they don't hit, it looks like they can pitch now and keep a game tight and keep a game close. But I agree with you, Shane, in terms of I like their lineup. I like their balance. But it's amazing when you look back at 2017, that was far from Kevin O'Sullivan's most talented team, but that was a team that got a lot of breaks. I remember when they were 20-11 and they had lost 2 or 3 to Missouri that year in the middle of the SEC schedule, and then they just took off and they got hot at the right time. So I see some similarities with this group, but Singer and Faedo were 2 overpowering pitchers. I think you've got a chance for Waldrop, and if Sproat can get a little more dialed in and maybe not give up the long balls, then you could have that kind of similar 1-2 punch in Omaha.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hey, Chris Storing Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Storing Mortgage today at 352-244-0840. Kevin Brockway on the Titan MR hotline. On the Titan MR text line, Jim has a question for you. It says, Kevin, love following you on Twitter and all your work at the Gainesville Sun. When you're out in Omaha, are you the guy that watches all the games or just when the Gators play?
No, I like to watch all the games. I'm a big baseball guy. I mean, that's, it's kind of funny, even though, and I love college hoops too. And obviously that's my wheelhouse, but I grew up in New York. So New York's a big baseball town. So I love the game. I love the intricacies of the game. So anytime I'm around baseball, I just love to watch. Sometimes I just love sitting in the stands too, not even in the press box. I just like the atmosphere of it, kind of the relaxed nature of it, and studying the game and breaking down the game and seeing things that you don't see, and the pop of the mitt, the little things that go into baseball. And it's a great atmosphere out there too, Shane. I don't know if you've ever been, but that's definitely a bucket item, for anyone if they love college baseball, just to go out there. The town really galvanizes around it. They love it out there. It's kind of like a festival atmosphere that whole week and a half. It's the biggest thing in Omaha. Great town, great steaks, and there's really a lot to do there in the summer. Hopefully the weather holds, and it's I think it's supposed to rain on Saturday a little bit, but for Florida's games on Friday and Sunday, it should be okay.
Yeah, speaking of out on the town, JC and I are curious if Kevin Brockway is going to take part in the bar that does all the Jello shots, and they keep track of what schools take the most. You ever been there?
I think LSU has won that, right? We've been
Ole Miss shattered the record last year, but if LSU's there for a while, I can promise you they will shatter Ole Miss's record because those Cajuns are crazy.
They are nuts. There's this kind of bar down the right field line. It's called the Blatt. That's a fun spot. I've been out there before. I haven't been out there since 2017. I was out there for the final series, but 2015 was the year that I was stuck 10 days out there. And then I did the last one in Rosenblatt in 2010, which was really neat. And they brought back, I think, all the college. Barry Bonds came back because it was like the College World Series All-Stars of all the years past and so forth. And I talked to, Augie Garrido in the press box. The late Augie Garrido is a great coach at Texas and was in the movie For the Love of the Game. I was joking with him. He was a Yankees manager in that movie, and we talked a little bit about that. So it's just a great atmosphere. If you're a college baseball nut, it's a good time. And I think I'll be too busy to partake in some Jello shots, but maybe I'll find a karaoke spot. Who knows? We'll see.
There you go. All right. Obviously, let's not talk about the Florida side of the bracket. The other side of the bracket, people say, if you look at it on paper, it's much more difficult, although it's baseball. You got the 1 seed, Wake Forest, but you also have LSU over there. Just hypothetically right here, just thinking, who you think comes out of that side of the bracket?
I think LSU does. And I think Wake Have you ever seen Wake's ballpark? It's like
No, I heard it's a very small ballpark.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
and I just wonder for them to go out to Omaha. I think that's going to be a big culture shock for them. Now I know they got pitching; they've got very good pitching, but I just wonder if they go out there. They're a team that I could see, really having a hard time out there. And I just like LSU's talent. I think they figured it out. LSU's pitching is a little suspect behind Skeens. That's been a little bit of an issue. But they've got a lineup, man. I mean, Cruz and White and Guidry on the back end has kind of solidified their bullpen a little bit. But I really like them. I mean, I think it's crazy to think that if Florida and LSU get out of their sides, that'd be the first time that they're facing each other. And it'd be a repeat of the 2017 finals, which would be really something. And that's actually what I'm predicting. But I'm predicting that LSU will get their revenge and beat Florida.
Oh, okay. Well, that I would love to see LSU and Florida in the championship series. That'd be outstanding. All right, before we let you go, Kevin, you can pack up all your stuff and head to the airport. You're a big hoops guy. Todd Golden has really done really well in the transfer portal. Your thoughts on the guys he's brought in?
Yeah, actually I did a story that's going to come out tomorrow where I graded each of the transfers and a lot of them got high grades. I mean, especially I kind of love the additions of Pullen and Clayton because you've got two guards, both guys who can play the point, both guys who are scoring point guards, both guys that can shoot. One's 39% from three, one's 43% from three. That's a huge weapon, as you know, Shane. I mean, going back to the Billy Donovan days, you give me a point guard that can shoot, and that's really something. That's something that really puts a lot of stress on defenses. And, EJ Jarvis, a guy that's a stretch four, too. The two big guys, Hanloden and Handleton, excuse me. I'm trying to, get his name right. And Samuel. Samuel is a guy that scored in the Big East, and Handleton is a guy that is an elite rim protector. Will kind of replace what you lost from Castleton there on the defensive end. He's got a little room to grow offensively. So those five guys, Rishwain is more of a, kind of a guy that, is familiar with Todd Golden's system. He can shoot a little bit too, and he'll add a depth piece in the backcourt. But all in all, a really excellent job by Todd and the staff, I think, in the portal, and they've really transformed this team. I think the big issue, though, is the rest of the SEC. They're getting very good transfer portal classes too. Chris Beard, what he's doing at Ole Miss is very impressive right now, and for a program that really struggled, certainly he brings credibility for a guy that got Texas Tech to the Final Four in 2019, but. Tennessee's added some good people. I mean, if you want to look at a program that's kind of struggling right now in its transition, it's probably Kentucky, which is kind of, wild if you think about it. They could end up being in the lower half of the SEC unless Calipari, figures some things out, although DeJuan Wagner's a great talent. They've got the high school talent, but as we've seen, freshmen, it's not like 2015. It's a lot different now for freshmen going up against grown men in college basketball.
Yeah, it really is. And last thing I want to ask you, I spoke with Chris Harry a couple of weeks ago about it because you're a basketball guy. That the basketball tournament that's always with the former players that plays in the summertime. You ever follow that?
I've heard about it. Yeah.
Well, the reason I brought it up is we're gonna finally have a Gator team, and Matt McCall and Torian Green are going to coach it.
Oh wow, that's great. Yeah, no, that's fun. That TBT, it's in Columbus every year. That event, and it's a $1 million purse, right?
Yeah, they're playing for $1 million. I know Corey Brewer's on the roster. I can't remember. They're still adding players to it, but I'm going to get Matt McCall on since he's the head coach and talk about it. But it's pretty cool because during the summer there's usually something to watch. But now that we have a Gator team, it'll be really cool. Kevin, appreciate your time. Safe travels, my man, and hopefully you'll be out there a while covering the Gators.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Thanks.
That's Kevin Brockway from the Gainesville Sun. Take a quick time out, come back and wrap up this Wednesday edition.
We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official injury and accident law attorneys of the Florida Gators. Peaceland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte.
Campus USA Credit Union.
QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Dave & Buster's, eat, drink, play, and watch. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co., Ruse Ogre State Farm Insurance, Doreen Wibby, Realtor Caldwell Banker, MM Parish. Our touchdown sponsors are Adams Ribs, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteak, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Aver and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Q Billiards and Sports Bar. If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Pro football legend Emmitt Smith understands your joint pain.
It does not surprise me that there are a ton of people out there that's in pain.
That's why Emmitt is such a proponent of QC Kinetics, offering real lasting joint pain relief with non-surgical, all-natural biologic treatments.
Whether it's a joint pain, ankle pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, hip pain, any kind of pain, the body eventually will break down when it's under that much stress.
That stress can cloud your judgment to the point that you'll just say yes to the scalpel or yes to another prescription of pain pills. But maybe it's time for a second opinion from QC Kinetics.
The reason why I would recommend this is because the natural biologics that QC Kinetics is providing you gives your body a chance to naturally heal itself.
Restorative, regenerative solutions are here. Get lasting relief and live your life.
Call QC Kinetics 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Ruse Ogre State Farm Office is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right. With the right insurance options for you and your family, visit ogreinsurance.com. Give them a call at 352-240-1779. I want to thank JC and Kevin Brockway for joining us on the Titan Omaha Hotline. If you missed it, tonight at 7 o'clock on SEC Network, they reveal your opponents for 2024 football. And also, if you missed it, the Vegas Golden Knights are your NHL Stanley Cup champs as well. Our Peachland Dental golf picks for people just chiming in. JC took Adam Scott, Colin Morikawa, John Rahm, Scotty Scheffler, and Victor Hovland. I took Xander Schauffele, Patrick Cantley, Brooks Koepka, Cam Smith, and Max Homa. So should be a fun event. Starts tomorrow out at the LA Country Club out in California. We get primetime golf. Can't wait for that. We'll have Brent Beard on tomorrow. Get caught up on what's going on in college football around the country. Again, Gators first pitch set for 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Friday night against the Virginia Cavaliers. Always weather permitting out there. Tell all your friends and family to follow our programs. We appreciate you guys chiming in and sending comments and texts and all that good stuff. That y'all make this program go. Have a great day, folks, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.